My name is Michael Fratangelo. I'm a painter, I'm a visual artist, and my journey started at Penn State University. I always heard the quote by Joseph Campbell that you should study something not because it's said to be important, but because you're caught by it. And I was caught by Pablo Picasso, and his work in a beginning oil painting class with an amazing professor named John Bowman. And I was running to the library to get books on Picasso, and it was one portrait of his in particular. I have a poster of it on my studio wall here of Dora Maar, one of his wives. And it all started there for me, and it was kind of like lightning hit. I was a walk-on to the art program, and I've been on that path ever since. And so I like to say I found my calling at Penn State University. I was always interested in like social issues. I always admire artists that dealt with that. I was just taken by the war in Iraq when I graduated from college in about 2005. And it really struck me, and I wanted to do a show about the war in Iraq. And just, I feel like an artist's purpose is to document their time. And so that's how I kind of got on this path of doing social type shows. And the series of Iraq like exceeded my expectations for publicity and just notoriety. And it really took me a long time to kind of recover from that. And people were always asking me, when are you going to do another like social type show? And it literally wasn't for about 20 years before something hit me like the war in Iraq. And I was watching this Stanley Tucci in Italy show, and he had an episode in Sicily. And it's just on one Sunday I was watching this, and I had the same reaction to the images of these giant refugee boats coming up into Sicily, these giant wooden boats, and they looked like something out of the Bible to me. And I had never seen anything like this, with like hundreds of pairs of shoes in the bottom of these giant boats. And I was really struck by it. So I had this idea, immediately like Googled it to see if any artists were like dealing with this. And I couldn't really find anything. Like very few artists were documenting this stuff. In the United States, unless you're living probably on the borders, you're not dealing with like refugees and tons of immigration, at least in a landlocked state like Pennsylvania. And so it started with the African immigrants coming into Italy, but it's become something much bigger in the times we live in. And I'm happy about that, because the question I want to pose to people is, what is the promise of America? What is the promise of America? Is it a land where refugees and immigrants can come and remake themselves? That to me is the beauty of America, and that is the dream of America. And I'm hoping we don't lose that. You can serve God in many different ways. Everybody goes to God in a different way. And for me, painting is my vocation. I feel like it's my calling. I've come to understand that. So I take it very seriously, and I think it's a gift. It's a blessing. And people always ask me how you become an artist. I don't think you're either born an artist or you're not. I don't think you can become an artist. Like you're kind of born with a burden, and you have to do it. Like if you don't do it, you're like miserable. You have to like release the burden. It's hard to describe. And like I'm very thankful to have this gift and this calling, but I'm also thankful I discovered it. Like I feel very lucky, because I feel like a lot of people never discover theirs. I look at my painting as a spiritual practice. It's a ritual. And the more I paint and practice my craft, it's more like sculpting. And I always heard the stories of Michelangelo. He had the block of marble, and the sculpture was in there waiting to be revealed. And that's kind of how I look at my painting now. Like, I don't know where I'm going till I get there. It's like sculpting. It's like putting a puzzle together, and I don't know the destination until it happens. I don't choose the symbolism at the beginning, and it's a discovery. It's a sculpting, taking things away. They emerge during the process. And I know for a lot of people, they don't understand that. Like, it's not planned out. It's discovered during the process of painting. There's a menorah, there's Jewish symbols, there's a dreidel, there's figures of Christ, the Holy Bible, the Holy Spirit dove. those symbols emerge during the process of the work.